Janet is a very private person like you.
Yeah.
How did you and Janet meet, and how did the relationship evolve?
14, I was 14 or 15 years of age because I had just gotten my record deal, and I was such a huge fan. And a guy named George Lake, who was working over at her label at the time, knew how much of a fan I was and called me one day when she was in DC doing an interview and put me on the phone and we talked. And from that point on, we kept in touch. And then we ended up doing the Hal Jackson Talented Team pageant that Hal Jackson used to do in LA. And we connected from that point and was never apart from that point.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just kids.
How did you get her to trap you into a bet that required you piercing your nipple if you lost? Why would you agree to a bet
I
like
have no idea how I let this woman. We used to do some of the most craziest things and just stupid stuff. But then there was this stuff we just, Janet's always been an innovator, and she always doing stuff where you're just going. She's so detailed with stuff, but she's so freaking creative. But we act silly, get stupid, drinking and hanging out, and it would just be stuff that we would just be talking and laughing and finding. We find humor in freaking anything. Janet gives off this nice, laid-back, quiet person, but when she's in the comfort of her family and friends, she's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. And we was talking about something, doing something, laughing, and then I said something, and I made a bet, and I said, and when we made the bet, she was like, well, what's the bet? And I was like, well, if I lose, she said, if you lose, then you got to get the piercings, because I think she'd had piercings. And I was like, piercings? I'm like, okay, bet.
What would she had to do had she lost?
I don't even remember that. This thing was so painful when I lost.
You blacked out.
Man, I was like, my God. I'm like, what the hell did I do? I remember going back to the hotel, and I remember sleeping like this, going, this is some bullshit. What the hell did I do here? And it hurt so bad that I was thinking at some point, I'll just get them taken out sooner than later. Man, after I kept thinking about all that pain that I went through, and I was like, oh, hell no. They're just going to have to stay for a while. But I started liking it. And then when I started dating these girls that was going, ooh, those piercings, those are sexy. I was like, oh, for real?
Kept them longer.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. It was a benefit. And I had to thank her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we used to do stupid stuff. We just, we grew up and just going through the process of stuff. So many things. She's been there at so many important points in my life. And I've been there for so many things that she's gone through in her life and the important parts of our lives that we just, we've been there for. So that's just been family that I just, listen, I remember one time my mom was in the ICU and she went to the hospital for the first time, and Jan was having some issues, I think, with her relationship. And my mom just kind of came out of the thing, and she was still in ICU, but she was doing better. And the first thing she said, the first thing out of her mouth is Jan okay? And I'm sitting there going, how did you know? Like, just because she just, it was happening at that moment. And I said, yes. I said, she's good, Mom. She's okay. But it's just, there was a connection there. It's just, even with my mom, with her, and just knowing, and we being just great friends for so many years, that it was always, and I remember telling my mom, even when she would ask sometimes, what's happening, is Jan and the baby okay? Because she could never say the baby's name. She'd just go, Jan, is the baby okay? I'm like, she's fine. And I said, Mom, I got her. And she's good. And she's, well, just like my brothers, I was like, I got him.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how did she process Michael's death?
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Because they knew all along, too, behind all of this, it wasn't really no accident.
Mm.
There was a lot more to it. And so you can only imagine, as a sibling, as family, I don't care how much you go through with your families, that's your family. And at some point to start to learn, some of the things that they've learned about all of this that took place. It's hurtful, it's painful, because you look back and think this didn't necessarily have to be this way. So it impacted them all of them, in some ways.
Yeah.
Probably ways that we still never can imagine.